what's the name someone gave me? I he used to try and run for mayor. What's his name?
It wasn't a man.
It wasn't who?
It wasn't a man.
Really?
Her name's Sheila. I gutted her like I did Cornwood. Not even Sooty knows that. I think she knows something happened.
Um, if you didn't, I would have. So
Yeah. I mean, if I didn't, Sooty would have. I did it to save Sooty.
yeah, I think the difference between you and Sooty doing it is that it's less personal for you, and you did it probably in a controlled environment. Sooty would not have. I've never heard of Sheila though, and honestly, I don't want to. So
Yeah, you don't want to know her. I just thought you should know that I did that.
um, it's gonna sound fucked up saying it, but I thank you because
Of course.
I would have done unspeakable things to find out who tortured him. So I was planning on doing unspeakable things, and you're the only one that talked me off that ledge. So as for you, I want to kind of reel back for a sec. You are in a very unique position, very similar to Chatterbox. And um, the way that Chatterbox was an anchor for Ray, uh, you are somewhat an anchor for Chatterbox. And what I mean by that is, although you're worried about where he's at and what he's doing, as guilty as you may feel or questioned as you may be about his whereabouts, I would hope you know, and if you don't, I'm going to let you know. You had more of an impact on Chatterbox's life when he needed someone the most just like Chatterbox was there for Ray when she probably needed him the most. And I think it's important to remember that although you don't see the result, I'd like to be optimistic and think that the things that you have told him or suggested, if he's really leaving to improve himself, I'd like to think that the things you told him are going to be taken into account. So I don't think you should be too hard on yourself. Obviously, I can't erase worry and concern,
Yeah,
but I'd keep that in mind.
I'll try to.
You still have the knife?
Which one?
Uh, the one with Sheila's name on it.
Being honest, I probably do, but I don't know which one it is at this point.
Tessa, how many knives do you have?
I have so many knives. I wish that I had kept track of that one. In hindsight, I really do. But at this point, I don't know where it is, which one it is. I have a cabinet at my house that has one for Cornwood and one for Ruby. And then, my entire glove box in my car is just filled with nothing but knives. I have various ones just like in the houses that I go to. I just always have knives somewhere. It's it's also possible I dumped it. That was sort of just before a trip.
Hey, stop by the hotel later.
Oh. Well,
Yeah. I'm sorry. I wish I had it.
no, it's okay. Did you happen to go to his funeral?
I got the tail end, but I don't know. I didn't want to sit through the whole ceremony, so I came at the very end when everyone was leaving.
Yeah. And
With the
what
formals on.
the what?
The formals?
That's good. I'd like to think that I had a say in that, which is maybe the only thing I have to take away from my impact with things. Uh, Chief of Police Moss asked me one of my reasons for leaving the PD, and I gave her a TLDR but flop version for an hour and 45 minutes about why I left. And I one of the things that I brought up was that it's disgraceful that people die serving this island and we don't have 5 minutes out of our day to recognize the people that fall. and I made a very, put simply, threatening 911, saying that if a funeral was to not happen, there would be multiple. Because people should not be in a position by a group of people that claim to trust you and then be forgotten about. And I saw it was more than just one casket over there, so I'd like to think everybody got a little recognition, which, yeah, I might have been a little bored about it, but
I'm glad you got that closure.
I needed it. I think everybody deserves closure. Even the people who don't ever admit it, even other officers who will never say it. And it was sad because yesterday I spoke to an officer who I actually look very highly to. In fact, years ago I would have wanted her in the Rangers. Do you remember Officer Jenna at all? Jenna Mustard?
Yeah.
I spoke with her yesterday, and we were talking on the phone. She was the one that wrote my warrant. So, you know, she wanted me to turn myself in, play the cat and mouse thing, but I asked her something that upset me, and it was telling. So it makes me be more vocal to the PD when given an opportunity. I asked her a question. She said she wasn't comfortable answering it, and I said, "Can I ask something personal to you?" And I followed that up with asking if she was afraid to tell me because of repercussion, or was afraid to say it because of what command would think about her. And she said she was afraid of repercussion. And I just thought it was interesting to think that people can't be honest anymore. Which tells me that no one brought up the funeral thing. And it's upsetting to think that people can't speak their mind and communicate with each other. So before I knew about the funeral, I was very vocal. Because I knew communication wasn't good. And I know sometimes you got to be a little strong-armed to get stuff done. But I hope there's officers that are afraid to speak up. I'd like to hope that some of them got closure for tips and the other ones that have fallen as well. Because it wasn't just for me.
Yeah. I understand why some people might want funerals these days, but I am gonna be honest. I think I'm all set.
On what?
Uh, attending any funeral for the rest of my life.
Well, you helped coordinate them. And you've been to a lot. So I don't blame you. Luckily, funerals are a choice. So.
Yeah.
What were you going to say? I'm sorry.
Well, I was thinking of something that apparently happened at the funeral. And it made me think of a question that I wanted to ask you.
Mm-hmm.
You know how to get a grenade?
How to get one? No. Where to get one? Maybe. I'd have to make a phone call, but
Can you get your hands on one for me?
I might be able to do that. Now I have to ask you,
It's for Sooty.
is it does it need to be functional?
Yeah.
Okay. That checks off a very large portion of grenades I have access to. Okay. I can.
It doesn't have to be like right away either. I don't really know when we would need it, but if you can source one for me, I'd really appreciate it.
If I can get one for a price, how much would you be willing to pay? If any. If nothing, I can try and source one for free.
How about you tell me a price and then I'll see if I can do it?
I'll just be blunt with
Because I
you.
genuinely don't know.
I'll have to go around and ask people and probably make a few phone calls. I don't even know what street value is on a grenade.
Neither do I.
Yeah. I know of a few that have the holes drilled in the bottom of them so they don't go off, but functional might be harder to source, but I could try.
That's fair. She, had bought a Rumpo for tips, and she really wants to blow it up.
Oh.
She's having a hard time doing it. I guess she had tried several things and it just wouldn't blow up. It would break, but it wouldn't just, She wants it gone, is what I think is happening. And I think we could probably manage it with some creme brulee, but
Mm-hmm.
I think a grenade would be a little more cathartic.
No, I agree with that. I have to step out and take this call real quick. Give me just
Yeah,
a second.
go ahead.
I apologize. Hey,
Need to talk to you.
what's up?
So I need to talk to you.
Okay. Right now?
As soon as.
I could be available right now. Where
Sure.
yeah. I'm just wrapping up a conversation with Tessa. We were catching up. Actually, I'll tell you what, give me or do you mind if you give me like 10 minutes to wrap up my conversation with Tessa?
Sure.
Okay.
I'll be. What's your ping? I'll just ping you somewhere.
7.
Okay.
All right.
Goodbye.
Yep, I'll see you soon. Bye. I'm gonna have to go meet somebody here in a few, but
Okay.
what was your car question?
Oh, I just wanted to know if you know how I can make my Cinco Mila turn better.
Is that your bike?
No, it's actually my, four-door sports car type thing.
Okay.
It's, it's not the best car out there, but it used to turn a whole lot better, and I'd really like to be able to turn it better.
Yeah, no, definitely. Let's do this. Okay, so the number one thing for cars and turning is the car market gets a little expensive, but my car turns really well because I dropped like 100 grand on tires.
No!
And I'm gonna tell you that before I got the tires, had stage 5 parts. I had dampeners. I had a lightweight kit. I had a good clutch. The tires made most of the difference.
Oh, that's terrible.
Do you have any tires right now?
No.
I'll tell you what.
I haven't done anything with my cars, since things started acting funny. I haven't really had time to go to the mechanic shop and even think about it. So everything right now is Imagine me being like a baby. I don't know anything.
Mm-hmm. Come on.
So yeah, I don't even know where to get tires.
So you need a set of 4, and then you need to get somebody that works at the tuna shop, like myself or like Fiona, to mount them and then balance them on your car. I can help you a little bit. Tires go for roughly about 25 or 30,000 a piece.
I don't want you to do that.
Hold on. Hold on. Let me cook. Give me a little bit of credit.
What do you think would make my bike go faster?
Clutch and a turbo. Do you have a turbo in your car?
I don't think so. I had one, but I don't know if I do anymore.
Okay. Give me 1 second. My favorite, getting pinged to a location to have a conversation. Oh. All right. All right. I think that'll be good. I'm gonna put these in my frunk. You can take everything in there. If you can get 3 more of those tires, your car will turn a whole lot better. A lot of those parts are probably gonna sit. And I'm leaving for a little bit, so I can't guarantee that I'll ever use them right now. So I'd rather you get use out of them for your car. Those things should help your turning.
Well,
Wow, nice car.
Thank you, appreciate it. Hey, I like your car too.
Yeah.
Wow,
I'm
wait
glad
a
you're
minute.
actually wearing pants and not boxers this time.
What do you mean?
The boost.
Oh, what do you got against the
Oh my
boxers?
god.
The first time I saw you, you just weren't wearing a goddamn thing. Just laying it out.
This is so.
Explain yourself.
This is so on brand. This is insane. Tessa, it's not what it looks like.
It
It
sounds
was
like
quite
it's
literally
something.
what it looked like.
Well, it's probably what it looked like, but I can assure you, I insist. I have pants on now, and I
Yeah,
put pants on
maybe.
after the boost.
Yeah, but why not during the boost?
Oh,
I remember you wanted to go down in style because you have a warrant.
yeah,
That's
yeah. I wanted to go down in
right,
style. I wanted people to look and be like, oh shit, that guy, the guy with no
Yeah.
pants.
Oh god, it's that guy running around again, streaking throughout the neighborhood.
Goodness.
Hey, listen, brother. Listen.
What's up?
I don't blame you. I would have done the same thing.
I'm just saying, going out in style.
I don't have much room to talk. I get my grippers out all the time.
Oh boy. You got everything? Okay.
What do I owe you for this though?
Nothing.
I
You gave me closure.
Stop.
You gave me closure with tips. That was worth more than anything I just gave you.
You sure?
I promise. You got my word.
If you ever need butt clamp for anything, I got a lot.
Okay. I actually might take you up on that at some point. I don't know when,
Okay.
but that actually might work out.
I mean, I'm not talking like 500 or nothing.
No,
but,
of
you know,
course
just-
not.
If you want to do a job today or something, I'll sponsor it.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Maybe tomorrow.
Well, I'm
I
gone
might be
in.
going to sleep.
I'm gone in 2 hours, so.
Okay.
All
All right.
good.
Well,
You want me to give you a ride somewhere?
How do you come across these tires, by the way?
You need to go. Do you know where the chop guy is all the way down in the south side?
Yeah, I think so. Were you by the stuff with that?
Yeah, he sells you. He'll sell you a box that he gets. So he gets boxes off a truck, and you know there's like a little whatever they do to get the boxes, but they're the stickers are ripped off and stuff, and he doesn't really know what's in them. So instead of breaking open everything and trying to figure out like what he can sell stuff for, he just sells the boxes at 15 bet per. And he just kind of tells you, you know, whatever you get is what you get. He doesn't check
Oh
it.
God, random stuff coming out of boxes. I'm triggered.
Mm-hmm.
I hate it.
You can have your own case opening whenever you want, Tessa. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
Do you want to ride somewhere?
If you could just bring me back to my motorbike.
Yeah, all good, not a problem. I want to catch up with you more soon. I gotta go have this other conversation real quick, and then yeah, I'll be. Oh, excuse me. Sorry, excuse me. Thank you. I will. You know, I'll catch up with you.
Okay.
All right.
Well, have a safe flight
Thank
and a
you.
good conversation.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for talking to me.
Of course, absolutely. Make sure your bike's here. Make sure someone didn't steal it.
Oh.
I just want to make sure.
It's here.
All good. All right. I appreciate it, Tessa. I'll talk to you soon. Be safe. Be good. I can only imagine what this conversation is going to be. I wonder if it's about the task?
It's nice to not be at work for once.
Whatever, asshole.
Hey, I'm stuck in traffic again. I don't know why downtown got so hoity-toity either. It's a pain in the
All
ass
right.
to get there from anywhere else. Getting messy. I love your ride. Hi there.
Cigarettes, my favorite kind of alcohol. Ah, yes. That was a good talk with Tessa. God, so much happening on the day that I'm leaving. I love that Tessa and Flop, regardless of how far their lives have changed, they're so loyal to each other. Hey,
Oh,
how you doing?
I'm all right. Not in jail. Not
Yeah.
for treason yet. No.
After 2.5 hours of searching, Benny was getting tired, and I was tired of looking. It was getting so close to storm. We just said, fuck it.
2.5 hours searching for what? Cops?
Marshall, and then looking for a cop that we could single out. That wasn't surrounded by other cops or trying to, put simply, camp the PD. It was apparently a wedding happened like right before I came around, and we assumed a lot of them were off duty because there was nobody. and everybody was either in a meeting room or whatever, so we just had a hard time finding it. We found a group of 3 of them in front of the PD, but how do I say this? Don't know if that's really a no-no, so I didn't want to chance it.
No, it would have been fine.
Yeah. Because Benny suggested we hold all 3 of them up and tell one of them to cuff the other 2 and then take the 3rd, but...
That might have worked.
Yeah.
That might have worked.
As long as it's not a no-no, I'll do it next time. Tried to get it done before I had to leave, but... is what it is. I'll get to it next week. When I'm back. What's going on?
So, tell me why when I'm at the lighthouse, like maybe 30 minutes ago, I bump into Edgar.
Fucking
And
hell.
and your name comes out of his mouth about wanting to get in touch with death. And he is dead set on that you know how to do it.
Edgar's
Why does that happen?
Okay, well, for starters, Edgar is a fucking moron.
Yep, I know that.
He literally offered me money and he said, quote, "I'll kill for you. Tell me." And I told him no. Wow, the apple does not fall far from the tree, let me tell you. Holy shit. That's crazy. So, I, many years ago, had my run-in with, that motherfucker. Not Edgar, the other motherfucker. And next thing I knew, I was pretty delirious when I was walking down a road and I was really hazy and confused. And I saw a lot of people at the lighthouse house that I didn't recognize. And I introduced myself to them. And one of the men who were there walked away, who looked disturbed and upset. And that man was Richard Dark. And I was filled in with a lot of gaps about the people that I knew and this family that I supposedly had. And I didn't remember any of them. None of them. I found out that I had a brother. I met him once, and then next thing I heard, he passed away. I didn't even know he was my brother at the time. I just thought he was some guy. And after having very subtle, brief, but extensive conversations with people who, I guess, knew what happened before, the only thing I was told was that I did something supposedly more courageous than anyone would have willingly ever done to protect the ones that I cared about. And I never questioned what happened. Never questioned what I did. I just assumed that based on what I was told, I did it to protect the ones that I cared about. And I made a promise that I would never go back there. I made a promise that I would never find my way back to that place and that I would do everything in my power to move on in my life with it behind me. And I don't know exactly what I did at that place with that person, but I do know that a lot of my life has taken a very drastic turn ever since I was there. And it still confuses me, but I have learned to not ask questions that I probably don't need to know the answers to. Then I heard that apparently, I guess Tally knew Edgar or something.
Hmm.
And Tally had mentioned that because I guess Edgar had asked about this, and she said the only person she knew was me. I don't even remember what I told Tally about this guy. I know I probably brought it up with her, but Edgar called me and proceeded to insist that he has something of importance to save everybody, and that he was this whole thing. And I told him, I said, I go to bed a lot of nights with a very confusing nightmare that is indescribable, and that ever since I was walking down that beach, I dealt with this. And I told him that I would never go back there. Edgar then proceeded to tell me that he would pay me money, he would kill for me, and that he would only tell me in person what is going on. And I told him that I didn't know if I could trust that, and that I apologized and that I'm not his person. He then threatened my family. And I told him that trying to convince a conversation with me face to face by threatening my family will only result in you being gutted like a fucking pig.
He threatened your family, how?
He said that my family would die. He's like, talk to me now or your family's dead. I'm like, Edgar, this is not a convincing thing. And he said, I didn't threaten your family. I said your family was gonna die unless you talk to me right now. So, I don't know. Apparently, everyone's at risk. And, John, to put it simply, after 7 years of hearing about this shithead, it sounds like everyone around me has been at risk for as long as I could remember this, unfortunately. And I didn't just hear about this yesterday. This isn't new knowledge to me. This is... All I know is anybody that goes near that place does not walk out a better person. So I did meet with Edgar, and I told him well wishes on his venture of whatever he's looking into. But I don't know what he has. I don't know what physical proposition he owns that is to save humanity. I don't know what risk anyone is in currently, if there is any. But again, this is 7 years plus in the making of my held opinions about what is going on.
You sounded like a man that lost somebody.
Oh yeah, he was distraught.
Yeah. And, yeah, I picked that up pretty quickly.
I did
And he
too.
was asking me for help as well. And he's a very good way of telling you exactly what he's trying to not tell you in a roundabout way, because he asked about people coming back from the dead and if it was true and if I knew it was true. And that is the exact reason why nobody will, well, okay, so I wouldn't help him and you wouldn't help him and any people in their right mind wouldn't help him, because that is the worst reason to want to talk to that person.
Yeah.
I mean, reality may have changed, but from my sparse conversations with that, whatever the fuck you want to call him, he doesn't do deals anymore. He doesn't do any of that shit anymore. I don't know, you probably don't know that, but I have spoken to him a couple times.
I have too.
And one of the first times I talked to him was that he does not do deals anymore. He is not bringing people back from the dead. He's not. Now, that may have changed. That's months ago, right? Who knows? It is him. He'll do whatever, according to other people. But I've never had that experience with him.
He got my number, and a long time ago, I don't even think it's on the phone I have currently. I think it was my old phone that I don't even have access to anymore. The only thing I ever did for him was he handed me a note, and I was asked to deliver it almost, I don't even know, 10 months ago. And I don't remember what the stipulations was to this other than to just do it and not speak of it. But I literally called the person I was told to meet up with. I went up to them, I handed them the note, and they said, what is this for? And I said, I am not at obligation to say a fucking word. And I walked away. I didn't even read the note. I then... I forget what happened recently. Oh. That's what happened recently. When I called it off with my dad, Richard, and he said that if you hang out with the ADMC, you're no son of mine. And I said, fine. Not a son of yours then, goodbye. I was pissed off, and the only place I could think of to decompress was the house at the lighthouse, because the first time I had a memory of him was walking down that beach. And he came around the corner and lit up a cigarette, which I put two and two together. And I truthfully, meaningly cannot recall the conversation that we had in detail, but it was brief. And that's really all I know about the guy. But he never made a deal with me after the fact. Supposedly, apparently, I made something with him before. I just don't remember. So, you might be right. If you don't mind me asking, can I ask what led you there? Everybody usually has a different perspective and story and reason from what I've heard.
Yeah, mostly negative from what I've heard. They're more drawn to it and lured by it more than find peace on it. I find peace on it.
You find peace at what?
At the lighthouse. I've never had a bad experience with, I'm just gonna say his fucking name, I don't care, Norman. Ever. For a long time, I doubted what he was or what he could do or the stuff he had done. I'd heard about the range of stuff and how people were scared of him, and you know, you utter his name back in BBMC and people were, you don't go to the fucking lights, don't do this, don't do that. But you know, I'll respect it and I'll take people's words for it, but until I see something, then you know, I have to see it with my own eyes to really give it what it deserves. And the first time I ran into him, well, I say ran into him, first time he decided to insert himself into my life. Would have been around my sister's birthday this year. Not many, if any, people, especially then, knew when that was.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's fine. Don't worry about it. I probably still have the text. Maybe. I don't fucking know. But yeah, I can't remember exactly what he said. But it was info that he just shouldn't have had. You know? And I didn't fear him. Because I felt there was, there was nothing to fear, but there was stuff to respect, right?
Sure.
And it's so long ago, and it's because it's not a negative thing. It doesn't sit in my head. Like, I don't think about it all the time, or it doesn't haunt me. I only spoke to him twice, and I went there because I wasn't afraid of him. And I went to see what he wanted to say. And instead of, everyone's fears of what would happen of, he's gonna, because it was a very low spot club, and that always happens around that year, or around that time of year. And no deal, no fucking with me, no nothing. He didn't do anything bad. He didn't say anything bad. Instead, he told me that she forgave me, and she didn't blame me, and she wasn't upset with me, and that she was at peace. This, whatever the fuck Norman Bones is, that everybody is so terrified of, that has ruined, I don't doubt, has ruined a lot of people's lives, instead decided to give me closure.
I don't know if there's anything in this world that is more meaningful than that. And you are most definitely among the people I've spoken to and know, probably the only case who was given closure. when I realized that I was, put simply, losing my family, and I went to that house. He didn't give me closure, but he talked to me. And when I walked away, I didn't fear him. But I definitely knew my place. And he gave me a different perspective on a lot of my life after our brief conversation. And I don't know what deems him to do it, John, but I can't even believe I'm saying this because I never thought these words would leave my mouth. But if that place gives you the comfort that you look for, you do what I don't want to say makes you happy, but you find the comfort that you look for and you seek. And if it's there, then so be it.
I mean, that's what everybody does, right? It doesn't even have you take, you know, the lighthouse. People go where they go to places that mean something to them, or for various different reasons. Death is, and this is, I guess, looking at it from a personal aspect, just myself. There's no point fighting death. There's no point cheating death, because that's where people fall into traps and deals and that. Death isn't evil, but death doesn't like to be cheated. The cheater will always pay for their transgressions. That's the way I kind of looked at it. Maybe he isn't death, maybe he is something else, and he is more evil than... That's my perspective. All I know is I walked to that lighthouse respecting death, and I got something I don't think I could put a price on. I don't think I could go back to thinking of not knowing that.
I do think that there are two types of people when we're talking about Norman. The ones who know and the ones who don't. And I think if you already know, there is no harm. And then if you don't know, cough, cough, Edgar, you probably shouldn't poke. Because I think the respect boundary is what's most important. You understand the respect boundary. Edgar is reckless in his emotional distress. Sorry to cut you off. What's up?
No, you're fine. You're right. And he begged me to help him, and I told him that I would think about it. No promises. The only reason I said that to him was I need to know who he is close to, So whenever he does this stupid fucking plan of his, that those people are as far away from him as possible. At least the ones that I care about. Whoever else, I don't give a fuck. So if anybody that I care about or has ties to anything, the club or myself, I will make sure that I don't give a fuck if he does that deal, but that person cuts everything from them.
Yeah.
Because like I've told you, and it's how even I operate. You don't go for the person, you go for everybody around them. That's the way death will do it. And
Mhm.
has done it.
Yeah. Edgar expressed a lot of confusion that did not line up with how I understand that man, and it's the very reason I opted to move away from that, was because I knew. I do have a question, and it's personal, but I don't want you to think I'm poking. I'm just asking.
And I'll get the mood right. Hang on.
Yeah, that's a mood. Fuck, I wasn't expecting that. Nobody has the answer. Nobody knows the answer. Supposedly. But people know that there is a rumored connection.
I'm picking this up though.
Yeah, go ahead.
Here, go.
Was there a connection between Norman and TJ?
Oh yeah. Big time. Why?
I had heard that apparently around Halloween people supposedly saw him. And honestly, at first I didn't believe it, but
Excuse me? What do you mean saw him? Norman?
no, apparently TJ. And I really, I don't know. I don't even know if I should believe it, but
Jokes like that aren't funny.
I know. I'm very questionable to it myself.
I don't remember the exact wording, but yeah, no. I had a few talks with TJ about Norman, and there was definitely a